What's up, y'all? It's me, Tasha C. Yeah, I'm actually back. If y'all are new to this, I've been gone for at least about 2 months as far as putting up videos because due to health issues. And I appreciate, like, again, say the love support that I've gotten for everybody. And I decided at least do one video. We just take one day at a time. But yes, y'all, I am back. This is the video I'm reviewing, like I said, what's up, y'all? It's me, Tasha C, and in this particular video, yeah, I had to remember that. I'm reviewing Love and Hip Hop, whatever special treat, Thursday special, whatever this episode is called. I'll look it up later and put it in there, y'all. Like I said, work with me. It's been a minute since I got back. But like I said, I appreciate y'all love support my YouTube fan, which includes even my subscribers and stuff. I know I gotta respond back to the comments and everything, but I appreciate all the love and support. Also sending prayers also to my YouTube cover, Renika, who is also known as Get a View, who is also, is still recovering from surgery. Also keep much love in your prayers. And she's doing videos as well, but all of us, like I said before, if y'all are subscribed to all of us, kind of had to go to the hospital around the same time, have surgeries and everything. So yes, so y'all, I'm just going to point out what I can, because I know about y'all, I have been watching the whole season and I've been wanting to go to sleep in these last, 6 and 7 episodes. I forgot. So we're going to work with what we got. Let's get the serious stuff out of the way. We want to send condolences to Mimi's father, who recently passed around the time with this whole Mimi, sex tape scandal going on, whatever. Also known as the leaked tape from Nico. But, so, she's going over to Dev's house. Dev's makes, brief, but, I feel like an important appearance that she's actually known Mimi for some years. And it turns out one thing having in common is pain. Deb, we already know, also has dealt with a loss where her son just recently, not too long ago, around the taping, committed suicide. And they were both talking about their experiences. As you have me saying that she was trying to get in touch with her dad or wasn't able to get in touch with her dad. I think it was around an interview or something. And then that's when she got the call from the neighbor saying her father had a stroke. And then they were saying about the complications. And, it's just that even after his leg being amputated, unfortunately, we all know the results. May rest in peace, as I said before. And then we all know what Deb had said, I think, before, not too long ago, unfortunately, when he did, with the tragedy of him committing suicide, she didn't get his FaceTime. And so also too, Deb has experienced, she also has lost her father. I don't know when, but I mean, she can, be in empathy and be in the same, understand maybe from a point of not just losing others, but even just from a point of losing a parent. And so she's also talking about, she also confessed something that we didn't know, which was about the situation where here she's trying to work with Steve. Steve is turned into this monster and everything else, and how she's dealing with everything, and how Stevie's acting and everything else is, this ain't the man I used to know, one of them type of things. And Deb was just like, basically, tell her in so many words to heal, and learning how to heal and move on from the Steve situation, and just learn, just cope with whatever. But I mean, this is what I got from it. And she goes on to say the story about she didn't know her father until she was 16 years old, because it turns out her mom was married when she got, pregnant with Mimi. And she went back to her husband. And it wasn't until she was 16 years old that she wrote on a pen and paper that, this is your daddy, here's your address, we want to talk to him, that's all. And she's been in touch with her dad since she was 16 years old. So, at least it was blessing. I can't say this, that she was at least able to get contact with her dad, and at least it wasn't like the day before he passed, or she didn't ever know until the man passed, you know what I mean? So, I guess you can look from that point, but it still was sad that he, passed. And we will leave it as that. And let's bring back Mimi to the last thing, because I think she, when she met with Stevie, and of course we know, it turns out it's confirmed that he did say that bitch assness. I have to say that about saying Karma's a bitch when she was on a radio station, because she was even talking about, I think also to Deb as well, like, she said that he's a good father, but she also admitted that he doesn't get financial support her, and that's when he decided to say Karma a bitch. And he admitted that, we already know Arlene in the last episode wanted to try to see if she can make an appointment arrangement or whatever, that Stevie and Mimi can meet. And they, can basically discuss the differences. So Stevie realized, well, she came for Steve or whatever. But he also, I guess, realized it was wrong. And then, let's be for real. To a certain point, Steve, he is, hurt about the tape because, there may be some feelings he still has for Mimi. So for him, now let's see the camera, she's on there and he ain't on it. You know what I mean? So yeah, they meet up and he, is there at some bar. I forgot where they said they were at. And Mimi's just like this. She's already going through all this emotional stuff as is, and just recently buried her daddy. And Stevie is, Stevie's there kind of, they're just talking about the same, stuff about the tape, how it's going to affect the daughter. You got Stevie's side, and, he kind of, the thing is about the statement, and, Mimi let him know, like, you crossed the line, which he did, with Stevie, that comment. And him, it ain't like some little kid or whatever, but it was a grown-ass man, because your parenting skills is totally different than somebody dying. You get what I'm saying? And Mimi let him know, like, that was, my father just passed and stuff. I wouldn't do that to you. Stuff like that. If your parents say passed away and I'm sitting there saying some crazy shit like that, no, that's not good. Okay? So, it basically ended where she walks out. I don't know how many sips of her drinks it had, but he wanted her to pay, pay for it, because it probably cost $10.99. I don't know. And she walked off, basically said pay for it. So really was nothing reserved, because Stevie's talking about the effects of the sex tape. And me reminded, like, last time I checked, you have a sex tape too, even though just because it wasn't leaked or anything. And wait a minute. Did she say just because it wasn't leaked? Now, I don't know, it just made me think about it. Now, supposedly, it just made me think about Nico, claiming his bags was stolen. But Nico leaked this tape, and she kind of direct. Okay, maybe I'm a little off subject, but you get to hear how she was talking about just because your tape wasn't leaked. Yeah, you should know about people leaking stuff, even though you're the now Mimi. Ain't she still with them to this day? Sorry, y'all. Sometimes I talk fast, but like I said, it's been a minute, so I'm kind of excited. So roll with me here. And by the way, I know this is off the subject, but like I said, shout out to my YouTube fam. If you're not a subscriber, click that subscription button below. If you like this video. Yeah, like I said, y'all, it's been a minute, so all over the place. Yeah, but, I seen the 15-second clip and seen some screenshots of the whole thing, but it never distributed him and Eve. But I'm just saying is that both of them, have body parts on display. Steve's, Jay's, Dick in the box, whatever photos as well. I'm just saying is they both are like, cannot talk about the other. I can't. Okay, so at least where I guess it's unresolved, to a certain point, she storms and walk out. Now, Carly Red, we pick up where we left off this fashion show. Scrappy's talking. They have to have subtitles to Young Jock. We got Khadijah, whatever her name is, also a retailer, works at Dairy Queen, also, does insurance for State Farm, and whatever else she does, okay? So, she, beats up where Jock is basically like, okay, and I get caught. I hope she don't blow up on spot. Carly Red, like, basically, like, you hear her speak, what about this, blah, blah, blah. Jock, you better not do this. So then they basically just throw in barbershop. Khadijah is not, I think that's the lady's name, it's not fazed by this, okay? I didn't like that suit on her. Was I the only one that didn't like that suit on her? Anyways, she's throwing back like basically whatever, you ain't shit, just the usual talking stuff like that. I'm surprised Erica wasn't like, since she's been like Carly, or they've been like the two birds flying together and shit, then sit here and like imply and add in her input, okay? So, we got base back and forth. By the end of going back and forth before she was out of the club, I thought somebody was going to throw some drinks. Did they throw anything this time? I guess not. They end up, by the time she's leaving out the door talking shit, Young Jock is so fed up, I guess, by the caught, or he's sick and tired of Carly Red, even though he lied or whatever the hell's going on, whatever. He let her know that she got cottage cheese, cottage cheese, yeast, and I'm thinking like, well, when did you find this out? After you fucked her for a I'm just saying, like, how do you know that she needs Modest at 7? I just don't, oh, never mind, but... Okay, I'm just hoping they're done and over with now, because that right there, whatever. So, she's done and over with him. Then we got that little part where, let's get Khadijah out of the way. Is the baby's name, the first one, named Meat Shack? Joe Shack? Meat Shack? I'm not trying to mess this name up, but I could have sworn that name is like Meat M. What? See, people be naming their names, babies, crazy names. Anyways, so, they got this nice new house, out enough room for the two babies out of the I guess when the other the 7 of Tony's come over, that's a lot. That's a Jackson 5 and, you know, replacements just in case someone gets sick or something, ain't it? Just okay. You know, they switch up order with new consoles. I'm just saying that's enough right there. Okay, that's some starter players. Okay. We got, you know, they moved a new house. You know, Rashida got gave pregnancy clothes because Deidre was, you know, hasn't took. I don't know why I keep calling. Camellia has not told Carly that she's pregnant. Carly's been getting a lot of airtime. I'm still confused about that. What deal did they make? Okay, I just want to know what her Mona did. That she's all of a sudden like the main character. All right, so she gives a sex swing because she didn't know that they were pregnant. She went to the Christian house. And then, you know, they're just talking back and forth about Athena getting married and blah, blah, blah to Bazzino. We'll get to that in a second. And then she sits here and, you know, talks about, you know, if y'all put it up, I want to see how it works. And I'm thinking, did Hercules already had, like, the possible... Yeah, but like I said, going back earlier, cut off a little bit, they already had the possible turnout, Carly and Camellia were supposed to a turnout / possible threesome session at when they were picking out beds for their studio, Camellia and her husband's studio. Yeah, so it is on that note. Yeah, okay, let's get to Athena and Bazzino. Athena and Bazzino, wedding special / showcase of her song called Ghetto Love. Sparkling silver outfit, and Kirk is there, Rashida, and he has to also show us that he has on, what is it, the right side rib cage has a whole body. I know she didn't get no tattoo him, but of his name, nothing, you know, not even, you know, just one of temporary tattoo stickers, but he got on his rib cage. She must got him whipped, but anyway, got a whole picture of her on his rib, like, you know, it representing, you know, how Eve, you know, like, you know, the woman is, you know, made of, you know, the rib of a man, you know, stuff like that. So he is in love, and then Kirk, who always brings the right relationship expertise advice, decides to guess about telling him, and the minister was thinking about doing a prenup. So while she's singing Ghetto Love and da-da-da, y'all seen the video in the background, it's like, I guess a pre-wed, I don't know, it was that the video, or was it just like, you know, just the visuals while she's showcasing her song, which was at the Vibe Club. It wasn't that after the Sleazo's place was Bazzino's Sleeper's place was closed down. And I know I've been, like I said, it's been a minute, so work with me, y'all. So, anyways, you know, they're gonna get married in 2 weeks. Now, I don't know if they're just saving or whatever, but I don't know if they're married or not in real life, yet, or it could be pending, so we can just tune in. So, anyways, her, Athena, and Rashida, and Athena's mom, whose name also was I think it's that name. What you pronounce the name of the goddess? I think you know one of the goddesses' name, Greek, Roman gods. You know how some, you know, most of us had studied social studies. Okay, it turns out she's looking for this dress. You know, because afterwards, you know, by the way, to rewind back, you know, Bazzino was talking about, well, Kirk told me the idea about getting a prenup. All she did was turn around and he said no prenup. And, you know, even though we flash forward at this wedding shop, bridal shop, whatever, Rashida's like this, you know, even though Athena said she wants, you know, part of my Hip Hop Weekly Empire. Rashida's like, you know, if she didn't know that if Athena did not have her own money, then she would just look at this gold digging bitch. But since she has, you know, this, hopefully their marriage just last long, and it's just, you know, the engagement itself. So she finds out she has to wait 6 to 8 months, so they had to go to another store. Her mom been married 5 times, and she wants to wear white. Okay. Anyways, like I said, that's going fast forward back to what they were talking about. Carly Red was talking about Athena hitting the crew and stuff like that. And then I'm like, okay, we're on season 3, right? How many dudes that you with, and who knows how many you have? Okay, I'm just saying, but she's always quick to go after Athena. And Athena even admits, I've been with this one, I've been with them, I've been with them, okay? But, yeah, it just gets the point that just like that storyline is just dragging on, okay? So, We also have a scene where Young Jock and Scrappy are talking, and we ask them how they pulled it off, and they all talking about, like I said, they teams and stuff like that, or I guess they got enough girls that they can remix Drake's Best I Never Had video and got new team players and stuff. If y'all ever seen that video, y'all know what I'm talking about. And as far as how many broads they can have per team, that's they players, main players on the bench, not on the bench, So, you got Young Jock talking about situation. He's sick and tired of Carly, but he was talking about, I don't know, was it saying something about she jacks this thing with her hands, or, her feet, jacks his, I don't know what was said, and I just wanted that scene to end so fast, and it did. So, we got Scrappy and Erica. They're getting along, even though Erica keeps on saying, he wants this, no, you want that too. And Scrappy already also said, and the Young Jock seemed like, he realized that he wants Bambi, more so. Even though him and Erica, she was looking good, she was looking nice, he realized it's better off with the Bambi. Mama D and stuff. So he decides to go to Mama D's house, but she still has been giving us the last couple weeks. I got to give thumbs up. I don't know who's Mama D's new hairstylist or who got to her, but let it stay, please, okay? Woo, okay? So he goes to talk to her because now he wants peace. And, it's all for Imani. And, how Erica's got her Class 6, Vanity 6, fashion show about to come up. So, she, is inviting him. He was thinking about, the re-family stuff like that. She's a little hesitant because she's been dealing with Mama D and her palaces and the palaces and the pie poppers and everything for years. And how we seen last season how it ended up with her Mignon and her got into it when Scrappy came home, stuff like that, after having this release party, literally. And we see how that turned out. So he goes to Mama D's house, and she's sitting here writing songs, and she's letting me know, she is like, I'm looking for love in all the wrong places, and love lost, and woo, whatever the hell she's talking about, okay? Scrappy's face was just priceless. And she wants Scrappy to do a remix and bring in Little John, okay? And, So, but she says she thought about it, even though she's dealing with, always dealing with the bitches. I think she says later on, she will, basically go come there in peace. And it's all for her grandbaby. So she will, put that whatever, animosity, whatever drama aside and go to this thing, give Erica a call. She calls Erica to make arrangements, and she comes to fashion show, whatever, minus down the family stand. First, Erica's a little hesitant. She sees, we got Mama D with a bouquet of flowers. She comes there, and Mignon's there, and they just like, hi. Afterwards, they meet her, Mignon, and Erica. Hi. How you doing? I want to say I loved your show and everything else. So, I guess Erica's show was a success. And she gives a bouquet of flowers. And her and Mignon put the difference aside. Like, can you give me a line? You want to give me a hug? Sure, I'll give you the hug. And Erica's just shocked. And then she talks to Erica. And they basically, as far as right now, are at peace. Woosa. Okay, at the moment. So, afterwards, another last scene I'm going to talk about, because really wasn't, I know I didn't go through everything, but you know how, like I said, they dragging on these episodes like hell, okay? So the last scene, we get Media Takeout, which obviously must sponsor Love and Hip Hop, because that seems to be the only media outlet that seems to be showing about gossip, even though even gossip is kind of like the little, it's a couple of them that we could use besides Media Takeout, what we see on Mimi's phone. And I didn't even hear about this till I seen the show, because, I don't honestly be on Media Takeout. So, anymore. So, she already go through all this, and then she finds out, she goes to Nico's apartment, and she's talking to him, and it turns out that there is some rumor going around that Nico is still married his own self. Not to say this was repeated, I'm just saying, I know she was trying to say she already dealt with this in childhood, and now, unfortunately, she may be dealing with this right now, that she's talking about. So I don't know if he's supposedly separate or what's going on, so we'll get married a green card. We don't know. All I know is that at the end, in the last scene, they kind of ended where as soon as she's like, I've been hearing some things in the sources, and as soon as He says yes, some of that's true. Then we see the previews of next week. Then she's letting him know, you know, you're married. We already know she's still with him, so this doesn't matter. And then we got here, they got that damn Shark Jaws music when I guess Stevie J's supposed to tell Jocelyn after he speaks to the Snoop Dogg when he's in LA about, I guess, the truth about, I think, whatever he supposed to be. Like I said, y'all, they gon' I'm just ready for the season end. Ain't y'all? Really? But anyway, y'all have a pleasant night, pleasant weekend, pleasant morning, pleasant night. Like I said, God bless. Thank you for all the love and support. And yeah, I'm back. I'm just going to take it one video at a time, you know what I mean? And just try to put out as much as I can consistently, whatever. And like I said, I'm glad to be back. Anyway, y'all take care, y'all.